Hello, guys. Uh, Very good evening, and I hope all of you are doing well and fine. And as discussed last time, we have completed all the modules. We have done all the parts of training of Power BI, data analysis and visualization in Power BI, this course. And as I promised last time, we will talk about some. I'll give you some tasks to complete as a case study so that you can check yourself that how much you have learned in Power BI and how much you are and you can have a good set of practice. So this is the agenda of this last video to talk about the two case studies where we have some uh, questions for you to implement. So I'll share with you the PDF file plus the source files which you need to use for the case study to implement the case study. So let's have a look on them and let's understand what exactly the case studies are, and we'll discuss in detail about those case studies. So let's go here. The first one is the video game analysis. The source file for this video game analysis is a CSV file from where you need to import the data. Okay. So inside this, we can see it's always better to have, as I already suggested you at the beginning, it's always better to have a glimpse of the data set to understand what problem we can have, and then accordingly start importing the data into Power BI, and then start performing operations in the Power Query editor or any other operations in Power BI. It's always preferable to first have a look on the data set. If you have a look on the data set, it's giving us the video game names, plus it is giving us the platform, year of release, genre. These are all dimension columns. So you need to take this data, do some ETL, take the load the data into your maybe into your database, then you can connect to Power BI. Or if you are taking directly data into Power BI, then you have to take the columns and create tables and push the data accordingly. Okay, so you need to load the data into the fact and dimension tables accordingly, create the relationship. I'll show you the data model as well, which you need to create and work on. So there are some fact columns which you will use for your analysis. The sales analysis, the sales in different regions like North America, Europe sales, Japan sales, other sales, global sales. Great, and some rating columns: the critic rating, the critic count, the user rating, user count, then the developer name and ratings given to the developers. Okay, so definitely this data set has a lot of issues inside that which you have to fix before you start creating your model and start creating your reports. First of all, you have to load the data into the tables properly. You have to create the tables accordingly. Second point is you need to make sure that the nulls problem must be handled. It has a lot of null problems, so that null has to be handled. Plus, definitely there are a lot of duplicate entries as well, which needs to be taken care. Okay, you need to map the you need to create the groups of the tables as I have shown you before. Make sure that it is using the correct data types in the columns. So all these operations you need to perform inside your Power Query editor. Then once you're done with the cleanup operation on all that stuff, you can go ahead and start looking at your data model which you need to work on. So let me zoom in a bit. Yes, definitely this is our fact table which is required. It is referencing to 6 dimension tables having 1 to star relationship. Each dimension table is having 1 to star relationship with the fact table. Okay, it's a direct relationship. There is no associative relationship anywhere. You just need to create a direct relationship between the fact and dimension tables. Okay, so your dimension tables are like the video game name dimension, developer dimension, publisher dimension. We have the year dimension, a platform dimension, a genre dimension, and it is having relationship with all the fact tables. All the dimension tables having relationship with the fact table. Great. So now what we need in the report, once you are ready with the model, you need to start creating the reports. Make sure that your the data granularity plus your model is working perfectly fine. So now if you go to the reports, what is exactly required? A very good question set has been given here, which by the client, you need to look on them and accordingly you need to use your mindset, what you have learned inside Power BI, and accordingly choose which visuals will be the perfect one for which kind of question. Okay, and it's not being written there. That's why I don't want to give you that idea that I want it to be implemented from yourself, which you have learned that what visual should be used for which question. For example, our first question is global sales for top 10 games. The total global sales for top 10 games. You can see here there is a column named as global sales. So you want to see the top 10 global sales game wise. Okay. The top 10 games global sales wise. Count of games genre wise for top 15 developers. The count of number of games genre wise for top 15 based on count in descending order. You need to select the top 15. Global sales for top 10 games. We have already seen it. I think it is repeated. Sorry for that. You can go ahead and check it out for one time only. Top 10 developers based on user ratings. Great. Platform wise game count, year wise sales. So sales analysis for EA Sports for a particular EA Sports. So go ahead and definitely it will need you to create some extra calculated columns and measures for your report. So make sure that you practice that as well. Check your data set. If you need to, we have learned a lot of decks in the training. So implement that decks here and start creating your own calculated measures and columns. So user count and user ratings for top 10 games, great. And rating wise, game count for top 10 developers, game count year wise for two developers. Make sure that you are implementing all of them and then choosing the best visuals, creating the best report in different pages, and then publish your report to your accounts on cloud, and then make sure to create a very nice looking dashboard for your client, which is answering all these questions for the client. And even you are going so much deeper that you are using Q&A for this purpose, so that it will make very simple for the client. Great. That's about the first case study, and let's have a look on the second one now. So this was video game analysis, where we are implementing a star schema model, and we have seen all the questions which need to be answered by your client. Okay, for your client. Great. So now let's move to the second one. I'm closing it out. Let's close this data set as well. The second one is the wardrobe. The wardrobe analysis. It's about clothing data. So we have some dress ID. I think serial number is okay. You can leave it. But dress ID, style of the dress, price. These are all your dimension columns once again. Some fact columns like rating. The dress size is once again will be treated as a dimension column. Season, neckline. These are all dimension columns. Waistline, material, stock availability. Now some fact table columns. Stock availability, demand, exceed, sold, date, dimension column once again. A quarter. So we can fetch out year and all the apart from that quarter, you can fetch out all the other things from your date column. The year, month, day, everything. Great. So once again, same thing. It has some a very proper data set. It has a very good numbers of rows as well. Okay, so you can see the count is somewhere around 505. So it's very nice. A good amount of data set. Go ahead and implement it. And once again, it also has the same problem. The null problem is there. So you need to clear out the nulls. You need to handle the nulls. You need to replace the values, or maybe remove the null problems. You need to handle the duplication as well. And definitely you need to add some extra columns in Power Query Editor for the dates, where we need the analysis by year, we need the analysis by month, by day, by week. So we need to add all those columns. So make sure that you are using it. Okay. And then once you complete the cleanup operations, once again you will load the data into Power BI, and then let's have a look on the model plus the questions what we are getting from the client. So this is our data model which we got from the client, where the fact table is in center, and it has a connection with the 7-dimension tables. So you need to load the data appropriately into the 7-dimension tables. Okay, great. And here it's having once again same to same from dimension to fact. It is having 1 to star relationship with the fact table. All the dimension tables have 1 to star relationship with the fact table. So make sure that your granularity plus your relationship is working properly fine. So once you are fine with the model, once you're done with the model part, you will go ahead to the reporting part, and let's have a look on the questions from the client. So demand of three types, demands of types of dresses. So we have a demand column in the fact table. So demand column based on types of dresses. Based on types of dresses, you have to show the total demand for each and every type of dress. So exceeded demand in both quarters. Highest rating dresses in particular style type. total dresses sold based on season and material type, very nice question, and total amount received based on dresses sold and particular dress size. Great, straightforward questions, but definitely it will ask you to, it will may need you to create some extra columns and measures using DEX. Okay, so have a look on the data set, load it, and then based on your requirements, definitely go ahead and create the extra columns. What required, clean up operations, perform them properly, and then design the data model accordingly. And finally, create these visuals and get a proper dashboard ready. Okay, and make sure not to forget to use AI visuals inside this dashboard. Great. Yeah, so these are the two case studies. It will help you out to understand, to check out yourself that how much you have learned and how much you have learned in Power Query, how much you have learned in Power BI visuals, everything, and how you can use them for implementing in a case study, in a small project. Okay, so I hope you will implement them properly, and make sure that if you feel any questions, definitely don't feel free to ask. If you have any issues, just connect to us, and we'll definitely answer your questions. Great. That's comes up to the end of this whole course of Power BI, data analysis and visualizations with Power BI. And we have learned a lot of things here. If we summarize the whole course in 2 minutes, we started with introduction to Power BI, from where we downloaded Power BI. I have shown you how to download and install Power BI on your own machines. The three main softwares: Power BI Desktop, Power BI Services, Power BI Mobile. We have seen all the three, and then we have learned how to. We have spent a very good time on Power Query Editor, where we have learned to perform all the cleanup operations based on our requirements. We have done all the cleaning up operations, adding some extra custom columns, conditional formatting, append data, merge data, very important part of your training. Append the tables data, append the merge and merge the data. Plus, we have seen how to get the data from different sources, and then the different import modes. Import mode, if you remember, import mode, the live connection mode, plus the direct query mode. A very important uh, interview question, plus important uh, point to remember. Okay, because the connectivity mode affects your report a lot. So make sure that you are using the correct connectivity mode. Okay, and then we have seen how to create the data models. We have worked a very good amount of time on the data models, understanding each and every aspect in a very good way. Plus, after that, we have spent a huge amount of time, a very nice amount of time on creating visuals inside Power BI. We have looked on all the deep visuals, all these visuals available here on the canvas. Plus, even we have seen how to import custom visuals. So we have, for example, this one only we have imported from cloud, and we have used it in our report. Okay, so that's what my suggestion to you. Go ahead and practice it so that you can understand in future what kind of visualizations are required for you, so you can go ahead and utilize those visualizations and import from Power BI cloud. Plus, apart from that, we have seen, after that we have published the reports to services. We have learned how to publish the reports, how to create the dashboards from the published reports. Okay, a lot of features to get data inside services and all on the cloud directly. Edit the reports on the cloud. Everything we have done there. So, and after that, we have seen a lot of part of DEX, a very important part, I can say. DEX, it's my always suggestion to you. Please be don't worried about the DEX, that you have to learn the whole DEX. That's obviously not possible. So don't be confused. You just need to be aware the main parts of DEX. And plus, later on, as per your requirements, you need to go ahead and little bit do R&D and implement DEX for your requirements. Great. So next we have moved forward to some other advanced features of on-premises data gateways, plus incremental refresh, a very important feature for performance tuning. Because after creating the reports, it's always preferable to for the performance tuning of the reports, okay, of the project. And after that, we have seen the AI visuals. We have implemented some very nice AI visuals, like the Q&A, key influencers, tree decomposition, a very helpful tree AI visuals, how Power BI is so helpful to make it user friendly. That's why we call it as a self-service BI. Right? And finally, we have seen this to case study. That's it. And I want all of you to go through all of them, all of these modules. Make sure to give your feedback and implement these case studies. And if any questions, feel free to connect. I'll share both the documents of the case study plus both the source files uh, with this video. So you can download from there and start practicing. If any questions, please let us know. Thank you so much. A very nice connect with all of you for this course. Thank you so much.